some answers. The House Majority Whip, California Congressman Kevin McCarthy. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Sean. How are you?
All right. Well, first of all, interesting things happen. Democrats summon to the White House. They're, according to the Washington Post, they're reacting negatively to these reports that the tax hikes, quote, won't be immediate. Apparently, so there's got to be something going on here. And Speaker Boehner has called a 9 a.m. meeting with the House GOP conference tomorrow. So something seems to be going on.
Yeah, but watch what you read here. The meeting that we're having tomorrow in the conference is already a scheduled meeting that we always have during this time before we depart, is to keep everybody up to date of where we are, where we're going on. If you want the update, the president still wants tax increases. If you want to know what happened in Congress so far, the president has never produced a plan. The Democrats in the Senate have never produced a plan, but a bipartisan plan, because Democrats voted for the cut, cap, and balance, came out of the House. So I don't understand why the Senate can't be able to pass that, and what other plan is out there while you're waiting to get this done in a short amount of time?
No, the House has done its job. I think it's very clear and very obvious. Why were Republicans voted into power? Why was the 2010 election the biggest midterm election victory in 70 years? Isn't it pretty clear to you?
It's very clear that their policies, there's this Keynesian view of government spending so much, the idea of a stimulus that costs $278,000 for every job it created. I mean, if you want to compare us, go and look at what happened in Canada. When Canada faced the same problem, and Fred Barnes has an excellent article on this, you know what they did? They cut. And Canada has a less population than just California. They have a stronger job growth than America. They took care of their problem by cutting, and they grew their economy, and their dollar is stronger than the U.S. dollar.
All right, and I've been talking a lot about that. It's a great example on my radio program. All right, let me get you very specific here. Sure. I was very angry with the U.S. Senate this week because all of a sudden on the day, this historic day, where you guys have a plan that's not only going to deal with the short-term problems we have of interest on the debt and paying Social Security and Medicare and the military and funding the government, not defaulting. Well, you guys, which I don't think is real, but that's a side note. While you guys are doing that, all of a sudden that morning, a new deal is put on the table. Yeah. And negotiations, so Republican senators have been negotiating. I felt in some ways it cut the legs out from under what should have been the focus of the day. You agree with that?
It did. I agree with you. And the other thing you've got to realize was there was no deal in this bipartisan deal because there was no bill. You know, a 5-page summary is not a bill. And a 5-page summary is a lot like how the Democrats ran the shop around here, that you have to pass a bill to find out what's inside it. That's not the way to run. Look, no. The American public is tired of the budget gimmicks, the accounting tricks, and all the false promises. They deserve to know the truth. That's why you have a bill of the cut, cap, and balance. You cut currently. You cap it so government can't grow the way it has in the last 3 years under Obama. 84% just in discretionary spending. And then we have a balanced budget. You know, 16 years ago, we came one vote short. And had we had that vote, imagine what we'd be debating today.
No, look, I think that's the plan. And it's frustrating. Now, the president's playing, you know, a lot of games here. And the president obviously still wants the tax increase. The president's been scaring old people in the process unnecessarily because we have the money to pay seniors, Social Security recipients. We have the money to pay off interest on the debt. The question, I guess, becomes at this point, and I know conservatives like myself want to know, is the House of Representatives united in this sense? No Gang of Six deal, no McConnell last-minute ditched effort. Can you tell us with any degree of certainty that those are non-starters in the House?
If that was going to start in the House, you would never see it get anywhere, because look at what has transpired in the House. We have been able to govern. In 4 short months, we actually produced a budget. The Senate has gone 813 days with never producing a budget with trillion-dollar deficits. They're never going to be able to produce anything. The president has led from behind so many times. He's never produced a plan where it even came down to the Congressional Budget Office saying, I cannot score a speech. That is not leadership. So you can't sit back and say, well, what are you going to do? If we're the only ones with the plan out there and they don't like it, then amend it and show us what they do like.
All right, and that's why I didn't like Republicans who have now 3 plans. 2, you know, have just come out in the last 2 weeks, which I don't even think, they're not even really plans, as you're pointing out. negotiating against themselves, and the president has yet to produce a plan. They haven't produced a budget in the Senate passed one in 800 days. All right, so what is the next step? What is the next? Let's assume that we can predict what's going to happen in the Senate tomorrow. Let's assume if it even passes, the president, does he follow through on his veto threat? And then what happens August 2nd?
Well, look, this is a serious issue. August 2nd is a serious date as well. And I would hope the president would take an opportunity here to show where he stands and show what he's for. That's what leadership is about. If this goes down in the Senate, the House will continue to work to come up with it. But we're going to come up in the philosophy and principle of solving a problem. Look, this is like having a great company but being managed terribly. So the shareholders came in and took out some of the board of directors. Okay. We don't control the board, but we're trying to change the direction.
Many conservatives, including myself, were really unhappy with the 2011 budget deal. We felt in the end we didn't get what we were promised. Can you assure conservatives, Tea Party members, and people that really think we've got to deal with this problem and then we can't kick the can down the road, can you assure them that that's not going to happen here?
Look at what we voted. You're talking about the CR, not the budget deal. The budget deal, we had energy policy. We dealt with entitlements. We went further than anybody thinks we can go. And we were united then, and we're united this week. Yeah. We know this country is worth fighting for, and I'll guarantee you this, we're going to keep fighting.
All right, well, you did repeal health care. You passed the Ryan budget, cut cap and balance. Now what is the Senate and the president going to offer? It's going to be interesting to watch. I hope you guys hold firm, because I think you are the last line of defense. Congressman, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.